Hi guys, and welcome back to Amakado online classes. Okay, so today I'm going to be teaching you, it's a quick one as well. So I'm going to be teaching you how to make an Ankara waist cincher belt, right? So it's just a belt you can use with, I'll put up a picture on the screen of a dress that you can actually use the belt with. So it just makes the dress look like a peplum, and then at the point you can take it off and it's just a fitted, dress, gown, skirt, whatever. So it looks something like this. I just took a liberty to do that drawing, okay, but I'll put up a picture. So that's basically what we're going to be making. So I may likely put some bonings to it just to give you that fitting at the waist and at the back. You can actually create the same stuff what I'm going to do now at the back, or you're going to put this kind of elastic at the back. So this is what I'll be using, but you can actually create a fabric to it. Okay, so this is a fabric I'm going to be using for the top part. It has like 2 layers, so I'm using a different fabric for the down, and this is going to be for the top. Okay, so to create it, I have actually folded my fabric. So this is the right side, this is the wrong side, so I did two, and I'm folding it into four to give me two, the one like a lining piece I'm going to use to neaten the main piece. Okay, so when you're creating this, it's good to take, it's like you can take, you're having it quarter of your waist measurement, so like your half waist, half this way, half this way. So you can likely divide your body into two and take the other two. So like my waist is 40, so that means I'm meant to have a 10 inches measurement, but that will be 20. So divided, so I have 10 on one side and I have 10 on the other side. But most of the times I don't like taking the measurement that way, because at times you make it and it doesn't really sit well the way I want it. So I'd rather take a measurement of my waist, from my waist to my other side, the side of my waist to the other side of my waist. I prefer it that way. So whatever measurement I have there, is what I'm going to be working with. And then whatever I have left for the back is what I'll divide for the elastic. Okay, so having folded this, I'm going to like use this part. I'll just draw a margin line. I love doing that so that we have what to work with. And then after that margin line, so I just have a straight line to work with. So I'm going to be adding a 1 inch allowance. Okay, so I drew a margin line here, then I have 1 inch allowance. That will be like my allowance for fixing in my hook and eye. So if you want to fix in zip, that is the allowance for that. It's just to use it and turn. So that's what I have added. Okay, so from that allowance, I'm now going to be taking my measurements this way. All right, but first of all, I would like to just take a measurement of 7 inches, and I'll just mark it. Just note 7 inches. That's where I'm going to be using working all my measurements too. So anything after that 7 inches is actually going to be my I'll be using it to add my allowance as well. So you can take less, it all depends on, because one side of it is small. The side that leads to your waist will have to be the same measurement with whatever elastic you're using, so that it will flush with it. But the one that is staying at my middle, my center front, is going to be wider. So you can actually say I'm using 7 inches, right? So divide it into two. So maybe this my center point is 3.5. So here too, I'll also like to have a center point of 3.5, right? It's just a midpoint that we can use to calculate all our measurements from. I'm not going to draw it as a straight line. I'll just mark at those points because I just need to note it, that is all. So now from here, first of all, I'm going to put my measurement. What am I using as my waist, right? Divided by 4. Okay, so in my own case, I'll put it here and I'll add my 1 inch sewing allowance. Okay, so I'll mark the same thing. Whatever you please, the measurement starts from here. Remember, I kept 1 inch. This is our margin line. This is not part of it. I now kept 1 inch. So measurement starts at this point inwards. Okay, so this is what I'm going to use, and then I'll add my allowance. Now that I've noted where I'm working with, I'll just draw a line. Okay, so this is the side that is going to my waist. I'm going to be taking 3 inches because this is just 3 inches. So like I said, this is all the point. I'm going to be going up whatever 3 inches is and coming down half of it to make 3 inches. So half of 3 inches is 1.5. So I placed my 1.5 on that middle point, and I marked here and I marked here. Okay, so I went up 1.5, came down 1. That gives me 3 inches. Here I want to use 5 inches. Okay, you can use as much as you want. So that means I'm going to be going up 2.5, and I'll be coming down 2.5 to give me 5. 2.5, and I'll come down also 2.5. So that gives me 5. Then I will join it. Okay, so it's not going to give you a straight line. I'm looking for a slanted line, which is what I have gotten. You know, look at that. So the line comes slanted, and here also comes slanted, and I am done. Okay, so the next thing I'm meant to do to this is to add my allowances. I didn't add allowance here and here, so I'll do that. So for the top part, I'm adding just half an inch allowance, and for the down part, I'm also adding half an inch allowance. Okay, so extend it. You can extend it, just let it go anyhow you want it, or just let it come into your 1 inch. All right, so then here, remember, I have my 1 inch. I still have a little bit of an excess, so I'll draw the line out. Okay, so I'll just cut this so you'll see what it looks like. All right, and please don't forget to mark your wrong and right sides. All right, so this is basically this in the shape. So this is my back. Like I said, I'll mark all my wrong sides so that I don't get to make a mistake when I am sewing. So this is right to right and right to right. Okay, so that's it. So this is what this looks like. Now I'm not cutting a lining for this because, like I said earlier, I cut the same thing, you know, to go as a lining. So this is how this is going to stay, right? So this is how it's going to stay. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to make you see everything. So this is the part that is staying as my unfold, and then the elastic, right, is going to be shooting out from here. So by the time I sew off my half an inch, it will just encase the elastic. So the elastic is what is staying at the back. Okay, so I'll just keep this. So now we have taken off the front. Now you can as well now measure. If you took out the whole front, you now check what do you have at the back, because whatever you have at the back, you're going to be taking the elastic. Now the measurement of elastic has to do with how stretchy your elastic you know is. So for me, I've checked what I have at the back is about 16 inches left. I took 25, you know, at the front. Let's quickly check that. So I took 25 at the front, and my back I'm having 16, so that's about 40. Okay, so you can also decide to say, okay, what's your waist, whatever your waist is, minus what you have taken for the front. I have 19. Okay, so that 19, you have to take, depending on how stretchy this is, you have to take half of it for your back, right? But my elastic is not so stretchy, so I can't go taking half for the back. I need to take more than half. So you can take 2/3, you know, of the if you're taking half, right, I would have had like 9.5, right? But I'm going to take 9.5 and still add half of that, right? So instead of me taking 9.5, I'll likely be taking more. So I have 19, I'll just take about 14. So like I said, it all depends on your elastic, because like I said earlier, see my elastic, it's not stretchy, it's just normal stretching. So you need to be careful when you're taking for the back. Okay, so that's that for that. Okay, so now we're cutting the down part. So the down part is the one I'm going to be sharing, you know, I'm going to use lining for the under. So now I'm taking my half of 25 is about 12. Okay, so for you have formula for gathers, you need to double or triple your measurements depending on how much gathers you're looking for. Okay, so I'm doubling my measurements, meaning that if I'm having 12.5, then I'm going to be having 25 inches on a stretch to gather, to give me gathers. So in my case, I may be taking a bit more than that because I want more gathers. So I think what I have here is about 20. So I'm using 40 inches on gathers. Okay, so I've told you how to take your gathers. You can do ×3 of, you know, what you need. So it's all about what you want. Gathers is just how full, it's the fullness you're looking for, you know, for your outfit. All right, so now from the design on the screen, you see that one side of it is actually low, one side is high. So I'm taking one side to be 5 inches, then the one staying at the unfold, I'll take it to about 9 to 10 inches depending on what I have here. Okay, so I have my top part already. I'll split this into 2. Okay, so my measurement can start from there and come down. So it's the same thing like I said. So first of all, I want to take my full measurement. I'm not, you know, slitting anything yet. It's after I do this before I'll cut. Okay, so I think I'll take this side. It's a bit low here, so I'd rather use whatever I have here. So I'm using like 10 and a half. Remember, we're going to be using half an inch for the top and 1 inch to turn at the down part. Right, so I'm having 10 and a half. So I'll just turn that into a straight line, and I'll cut it off. So what I'm doing now is just to straighten my fabric. All right, so also I'll check what I have here, and I also need to straighten it. Just want everything to be equal. Alright, so having done that, I can now slit my fabric into 2. This 2 is for the 2 sides. Remember, we're having 2 sides. Okay, so once you've done that, please don't forget to mark, because at times once you open this, that's it, you won't know what is back and what is front, because really my fabric just looks so much alike. So having done that, I can now open it up and lay it together this way. But you know, funny enough, this fabric you can use whichever side you want. Like you can use this, although this is the right side, or you can use the white side. Okay, so now open it. Now I have opened it, right? So this is what I was saying, that one side is going to be 9 inches, which I did 10 and a half, and one side is going to be 5 inches. So 5 plus 1, 6 plus 1, 6 and a half. So that's how it is going to be, and I'll show you why. You can take whatever measurement you want for yours. Okay, so I'm taking this side to be 6 and a half. I can even make it 7, right? It's still okay, just that it has to be shorter than the other side. Okay, so from here now we're going to draw the line bringing it down. So that's where we need our long ruler. Can even use my tape too, so if you don't have a long ruler, just use your tape as a guide. Okay, so I'm bringing it all the way down, right? So you can even actually take it somewhere. It doesn't even have to go all the way, so I'm not taking it all the way. So that's just what I'm doing, and I'm taking it there. Okay, So that's basically it, right? I'm just joining this up here. So you've seen the line just coming all the way down. So that's it. I'm going to cut it. So by the time you gather it, you find out that the side is going to be the side will be shorter. So I've added my allowances in all this. So that's just it. So now when you have this, the gist here is, remember I said this is thin like this, right? So now one of this is going to be on this side, right? And then this is going to be on this side. And this is like the smaller one is still on the smaller side. Okay, so let's use one as an example, right? We are gathering all this. We're gathering it. So when you make one side longer, so when you gather, you find out that one will drop. So this is how we are fixing this, right? Can you see that? Okay, so this is how we are fixing this. Of course, I'll show you when I'm fixing it. So this is, so you find one side will be smaller, one side will be longer. So that's just it. And then I'll cut lining for these as well. So this has been our cutting class for our Ankara waist cincher belt, and I'll be seeing you in a sewing class. And if you haven't subscribed, you don't want to miss all this edition, please do subscribe, and turn on your bell notification so that when I upload the second part of this video or any other video, you get a notification. And please do like our video, give us a thumbs up, and just encourage me, just show me a bit of love, you know, for what I'm doing, and encourage me to do more. Anyway, so thank you for being in this class, and I'll be seeing you in a sewing class.